In the far reaches of the galaxy, on a bustling space station known as Orbital Medica 7, Nurse Zyloth adjusted her holographic scrubs and prepared for another day of tending to patients from across the universe. Zyloth was a seasoned medical professional, her species known for their advanced healing abilities and calm demeanor. She had seen it all, from the gelatinous Corlaxians who required zero-gravity treatment tanks to the fiery Maltarians who needed their lava-like blood cooled regularly. But nothing could have prepared her for the human who walked into her medbay that day. The human, a male named John Carter, was a freelance space courier. He had been referred to Orbital Medica 7 after complaining of weird stomach pains during a routine cargo run. Zyloth had heard about humans before. They were a relatively new species to the interstellar community, known for their resilience, odd dietary habits, and a peculiar ability to survive in almost any environment. But this was her first time treating one. "Please take a seat on the examination table," Zyloth said, her voice a soothing hum. Her 4 eyes blinked in sequence as she activated her diagnostic scanner. John, a rugged man in his late 30s with a scruffy beard and a worn-out flight suit, complied. He looked nervous, fidgeting with the hem of his jacket. "So, doc or nurse, what's the deal? Am I gonna live?" John asked with a half-smile, trying to lighten the mood. Zyloth tilted her head, her antennae twitching. "We shall see. Please remain still while I perform the scan." She waved the scanner over his torso, expecting to find something mundane, perhaps a case of interstellar food poisoning or a minor parasite. But as the holographic display began to populate with data, Zyloth's jaw dropped. Her primary eyes widened, while her secondary eyes narrowed in disbelief. The scanner was picking up something. Impossible. Nestled within John's stomach was a small, glowing object emitting energy signatures that defied all known medical science. It pulsed rhythmically, as if alive, and seemed to be interacting with his body in ways that shouldn't have been possible. "Nurse, you okay?" John asked, noticing her stunned expression. Zyloth quickly composed herself, though her antennae were still vibrating with shock. "Mr. Carter, have you ingested anything unusual recently?" John scratched his head. "Unusual? I mean, I had some questionable space tacos at a rest stop a few days ago." "Why? Is it bad?" Zyloth hesitated. She didn't want to alarm him, but the situation was unprecedented. "Mr. Carter, according to my scanner, there is a foreign object inside your stomach. It appears to be alive." John's eyes widened. "Alive? Like a space worm or something?" "Not exactly," Zyloth replied, her voice trembling slightly. "It's emitting energy signatures that match no known life form or technology. I need to consult with the senior physician immediately." She hurried out of the room, leaving John sitting on the examination table, his mind racing. "Alive. Inside me." He felt a pang of panic but tried to stay calm. After all, he'd been through worse, like the time his ship's oxygen system failed halfway through a 6-month journey. This was just another bump in the road. "Right." Zyloth rushed to the office of Dr. Vrax, a towering insectoid physician with decades of experience treating exotic species. "Doctor, you need to see this," she said, projecting the scan results onto the wall. Dr. Vrax's multifaceted eyes studied the data, his mandibles clicking in surprise. "Fascinating. This energy signature. It's unlike anything I've ever encountered. Are you certain the scanner isn't malfunctioning?" "I've already recalibrated it twice," Zyloth replied. "The readings are accurate." Dr. Vrax nodded. "We need to perform an immediate extraction. If this object is interacting with his physiology, it could have unforeseen consequences." Back in the medbay, John was growing increasingly anxious. When Zyloth and Dr. Vrax entered, he could tell by their expressions that things were serious. "Okay, lay it on me. What's going on?" Dr. Vrax stepped forward. "Mr. Carter, we need to remove the object from your stomach as soon as possible. It's emitting energy that could potentially harm you, or worse." John swallowed hard. "All right, let's do it. But how?" "We'll use a minimally invasive procedure," Zyloth explained. "It's a standard technique for removing foreign objects. You'll be under sedation, so you won't feel a thing." John nodded, though his heart was pounding. He lay back on the table as Zyloth administered the sedative. Within moments he was unconscious. The procedure began smoothly. Zyloth and Dr. Vrax worked in tandem, using a combination of holographic imaging and precision instruments to locate and extract the object. As they carefully removed it from John's stomach, they were struck by its appearance. It was a small, crystalline orb, glowing with an otherworldly light. Tendrils of energy seemed to dance within its core, and it emitted a faint, melodic hum. "What is this?" Zyloth whispered, holding the orb in her gloved hands. Dr. Vrax ran a series of scans. "It's not organic, nor is it mechanical. Something else entirely. A fusion of matter and energy unlike anything in our databases." As they studied the orb, it suddenly began to pulse more intensely. The hum grew louder, and the light within it brightened. Before they could react, the orb floated out of Zyloth's hands and hovered in midair. A beam of light shot out, projecting a holographic image into the room. The image was of a humanoid figure, ethereal and radiant. Its voice echoed through the medbay, speaking in a language that neither Zyloth nor Dr. Vrax understood. But John, still unconscious, began to murmur in his sleep, as if responding to the figure. Zyloth's jaw dropped for the second time that day. "It's communicating with him." When John awoke, he found Zyloth and Dr. Vrax staring at him with a mixture of awe and confusion. The orb was now resting on a nearby table, its glow dimmed. "What happened?" John asked groggily. Zyloth hesitated, unsure of how to explain. "Mr. Carter, the object we removed from you. It's not just a foreign body. It's a relic of some kind. And it seems to have a connection to you." John sat up, feeling surprisingly well. "A connection? What do you mean?" Dr. Vrax stepped forward. "While you were unconscious, the orb projected a holographic image. It appeared to be communicating with you, though we couldn't understand the language." "Do you remember anything?" John frowned, trying to recall. "I had a dream. There was this voice telling me something about a mission, and a place called the Elysian Nexus. Does that mean anything to you?" Zyloth and Dr. Vrax exchanged glances. "The Elysian Nexus is a mythical location," Zyloth explained. "It's said to be a gateway to another dimension, a place of infinite knowledge and power. But no one has ever found it." John stared at the orb, a sense of destiny settling over him. "I think I'm supposed to find it." In the days that followed, John became the center of attention.